Hey everyone, so I'm adding this video on top of the video that I want you to watch on Delta Math as well. I think it'll be beneficial for you to hear it from me and see me work through a couple problems just so you feel a little more prepared when you start the assignment. So the idea of factoring is we want to break this polynomial, and we know it's a binomial because it has two terms. We want to break it up. So we need to find the greatest common factor that can go into both terms, okay? So we need to find the GCF of 16 and 4. There is not going to be a variable GCF here because both of these terms don't have an x. We have an x squared here, but we don't have an x here. So x is not going to be included in the GCF here, okay? So we need to find a GCF of 16 and 4, and the biggest number that can be divided into both of those is 4. If you need to write out all the factors of 16 and all the factors of 4, for example, 16, the factors of 16 are 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16, and then the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. So the largest one they have in common is 4. That's fine. You can write it out to help you. If you don't need to do that, that's also fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our original polynomial and we are going to divide that by our GCF of 4. So I'm going to divide 4 over here and I'm going to divide 4 over here. Now 4 is going to go on the outside of our parentheses and our answer after we divide is going to go inside the parentheses. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. You leave the x squared alone because we don't have anything to divide with that. And then 4 divided by 4 is just 1. So plus 1. It cancels out, but you still need to write that 1. That's your answer. That's it. You factored this out. You broke it up. One way to check it, and I'll do that over here, is to distribute. So these are really easy to check because if you distribute and you don't get your original question, the original example, then you know you did something wrong. So I'm going to distribute this 4. 4 times 4 gives us 16. Bring down the x squared, and then 4 times 1 gives us 4, which is what we had in the first place. Okay, so you can always double check to see what's going on, distribute, and go from there. I'm going to do one more example, so stick with me. I'm going to just move over. Okay, so now this one is definitely different. We have a 2x to the third and a 3x. So the GCF here, when you think of 2 and 3, the only number that can go into 2 and 3 is 1. So we're not going to include that in our GCF. But in this case, we see that this has an x to the third and this has an x, and we know that there's a little invisible 1 there. So our GCF, because these both have variables, our GCF is going to be a variable. So we're going to pick the one that has the smaller exponent. We have a 3 here and a 1 here, so the smaller exponent is our GCF. Remember, we didn't take out a number because the only number that can go into 2 and 3 is 1. Technically, there's an invisible 1 right there, but we don't really need that. So what I'm going to do from there, just like what we did before, I'm going to take our original example and divide that by our GCF of x. Now you can write x to the first power. You don't need to though. We know that that has an exponent of 1 whether you write it or not. Now our GCF goes on the outside of our parentheses and our answer after we divide is going to go on the inside. So now 2 doesn't have anything to divide with it. So that 2 is going to come down. If you want to put your little ones in, that's fine. Remember, when you are dividing terms that have the same base, so those x's are the same, you subtract your exponents. So 3 minus 1 gives us 2. So this is x squared. Minus, this 3 doesn't have anything to divide into it, so that comes down. And now 1 minus 1 is 0. So that would be x to the 0. So you don't need to write anything. That really can just cancel out, and I can just bring this a little bit closer. And that's your answer. I'm going to check it by distributing it out. So we have x times 2x squared minus 3. Distribute 2, add your exponents. X squared times x gives us x to the third minus x times negative 3, negative 3x. We can't do anything, which is what we started with. So we know that we did this right. Okay, so try a few on your own. You can watch this video a couple times if you need to. Definitely watch the video on Delta Math and look through the PowerPoint that I created. If you have any questions, you know you can reach out to me. All right, bye.